Today is March 11th, 2026. I told you, I haven't, every video I've done the last few days, I just deleted it. It's been a lot. Yesterday at Bob Evans, there was women talking. Some big guys had showed up and told people to stay out of this. Well, they're probably the big guys from the Department of Justice. Okay? There were some big guys showed up at around Christmas of 24. Carl and I went to get our wedding rings, and they were walking around the mall, and they said we told these people to leave her alone and to stay out of this. We found out that agent stole their money, and these people threatening to steal her dog bite money. We could hear her screaming, and when she got back in, she was covered with bites. And they're not going to steal anything. We found out that agent stole our money. Okay, so it was probably them. And those ladies were talking about that girl in that jewelry store, that heavyset one that's not much to look at. It's her having people do all this. And she really thinks she's something, that if she thinks one woman ever crosses her, that their husbands ought to make it up to her and have their husbands harm people or harm their wives for her. And she thinks she's all that great. Those women in that church are afraid to even cross her or even think that she thinks cross her because they'll have their husbands beat on them and have to make it up to her. Who does she think she is? Exactly. I found out she was telling people I threatened her. I hadn't talked to her in 15 years. The last thing I said was hi to her, and she was the one lying that Dave was cheating on her, and she's the one that cheats with Tim. And he got mad enough to quit his church. Because I told you, where she was running around making up all these crazy lies. In 2011, we walked in to Macy's in 2011. I said, Dave, are you cheating with that girl? He said, Karen, I'd rather kiss a cow's butt than that ugly heifer. Well, I giggled at his mean joke. I said, are you cheating with that girl? He said, Karen, she's pathetic. Running around making up lies for people to feel sorry for. Then making up lies that a married man would leave his wife. She's nothing but pathetic. Well, we avoided her at like a plague. Walked on the other side of the kiosk so she couldn't say we said anything. Avoided her. Dave quit his church. And I told you before that, because she always cheated with my brother-in-law, Tim, which is Harold Strange's son. Huh? Seeing her, she walks by, hi. Linda won't confront him. So we stayed out of it. And that whole family lies. Whole family does. That's weird. They were making up all kinds of crazy stuff on me in 2010 and 2011. I went over to Francis Cowgill's on Ava Street, and I said, Francis, go for a walk with me. Why are these people making up all these stories? She said, Mary hates you. I said, Mary hates me. I said, why would Mary hate me? I hadn't seen her in years. She started laughing. She said, is that what's going on? I said, what's going on? You don't know? Oh, what? She's like, never mind. Making up lies on people they don't see or talk to. Get the idea. She was the one that was dating Tim in 2003. Well, they've been dating since like 2001, 2002. Linda's out following him because her husband's cheating. They thought it was me. And so Strange made up that lie, called me faker when it's medication or medical malpractice. Got rid of me real quick. Pushed my kid to suicide in 2003. because they thought I was following Tim and Katie. Had nothing to do with them. And in 2011, they were making up such crazy stories. I asked Dave if I could go over to that church with him. I went like 2 visits, hoping somebody come up and say what was, where it's coming from. And they didn't. That place gave me nightmares. They pushed my kid to suicide. Scared to death to walk in that church. They're pure evil. Didn't go back. And then the stories kept going about Dave and Katie this, and I'm like, Dave, are you cheating with that girl? And da-da-da. One time he came home from church and he beat and sexually assaulted me until I was bloody. And I'm crying, why? You learn to keep your filthy mouth shut. I said, Danny just left with the kids an hour ago. I've been sitting here watching TV for an hour. He looked like he was going to be sick. Got mad and quit his church because they lied to him. And he came home and took it out on me. That's how sick and mind-controlling that church is. Now, that's where they were talking last week up in Hartville. Karen finally figured it out. Was Katie's family doing this? Well, right before the case started, Anita and Pam were talking. Mary's niece, Michelle, was willing to kill someone for the opportunity to date Dave. And just for the opportunity to date him, she'd kill someone. Dave was excited. He never had anybody willing to kill someone just to date him. We got in the car, and I'm like, Dave, what were they talking about? Oh, they were talking about me. Yes, they were. They called him a poor family that needed their help. Where that girl showed up at Faith Family Church, they said she was retired Georgia Pete's daughter, then Agent Will's daughter. She's just Mary's niece. Katie's family member that was messed up in drugs, the one that both those drug dealers' money, her and her dad, Henry Maffei, run a big con. We're November 23rd, 25, Macy Summit Mall. Her ex-husband was connected to us. We wanted to run a scam to extort money out of the government. We asked him if we could run a scam on her. He said yes, if they made sure that he got everything in the divorce. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62. Now, there's a pretty Michelle with long blonde hair. She's the one that told on him that the doctor from before is not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied that he was one of my doctors, and she doesn't know who he is. It's HIPAA, people. No doctor could ever be with him. Totally illegal. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. Well, they've been threatening her for a year now that they're going to kill her. So she goes around anytime she finds out anything, she tells them. You go, girl. The guy walks into Walmart 62. Michelle showed up and told me that these people confessed this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. Of course, they lied to HIPAA. And these people have admitted that they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And that tape of Weird with Yourself is photoshopped of washing yourself in the shower in the other room. Okay. And that guy Pete that's running his mouth about her, it's just some guy Dave hired on his own. She don't even know who he is. And the whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. You got to think, what they did to me is Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. Special permissions, stocking tapes, breaking in people's homes, setting up button cameras. That's a federal crime. Illegally monitoring someone. Cyber stalking. Felony invasion of privacy. Voyeurism, sex offender stuff. And they got kiddie porn of my grandkids going potty, selling everybody using the bathroom on porn sites. That's sex trafficking videos. Got permission to do that shit? Yeah, right. and break in and stab people with sodium pentothal. It's hypnotic drugs and drugged and told to say stuff. And photoshopped a Washington stocking tapes. And then they had their scenario of an attorney approaching a hospital that if they don't represent you in a personal injury and they're your attorney, not only yours, fishing for information, they have to have signed consent, picture ID, and the hospital has to sign consent, picture ID, and verbally record that you're releasing, just like the dog bite or the car wreck, to the personal injury. They can't have your whole medical record. It is a federal crime. For an attorney to even fish for information is 5 years. If the hospital would talk to them, it's 10 for HIPAA. If one of their doctors talk to them, it's another 10. Releasing any medical records or information is another 10. It's 35 for their doctor scam alone. They're really stupid. They don't know one law. And that they had a dirty doctor willing to talk to him. Some attorney approached the hospital. The hospital is willing to talk to him. The doctor's willing to talk to him. Passed out medical records. My God, they'll all get shut down. It's stupid. What they did to me is Twilight Zone of laws that can never be broken. Insanity. Okay? But what they did to Agent John was perfect. Go in with their scam. By federal law, he was to arrest them for the confession of their crimes. On the spot, arrest them. But where they say, oh, we talked him in to open a fraud case on her, that it'll act like he's protecting her, he'll get under police surveillance. That's fraud. You can't say you're going to protect someone. Open a case for an informant case to get you information on people, and you're actually doing it to trick someone. That is a federal crime. It's called fraud. See, that's what they wanted. These people have confessed that they paid that agent off to do this to me, to tell on me, for calling the FBI hotline, for mocking me on a recorded line. They're even sending out emails of that agent bullying me, saying, say you're lying, I'll arrest you, I'll put you in jail, you hear me, I'll arrest you. Ha ha ha. Sounding pure evil. And then telling people not to help me, so he gets arrested, proving to the cops he broke the law. They're trying to get him arrested, where they brag that, they're using her as a pawn. It's funny she doesn't know what they're doing. It's so funny she doesn't know what's going on. Oh, they drugged her and told her to say it before. They photoshopped washing in the shower in the other room. But she don't know what's going on. They framed her before. But she don't know what actually doing. And then they finally came out in 22. They set up that agent to be arrested. They were exposing corrupt law enforcement in this area publicly. They told them right away by 19 they were looking for loopholes to get the case thrown out. And then again, years ago, they were bragging that they were going to use that he defrauded me. That he opened the case. He had told on me before he talked to me. Admitted he told on me on a recorded line. He bullied me. And he made me beg for my life, and then listed me informant, and then threatened me if I said anything, and then left me up there and stole my money. He was just defrauding me to steal from the government. And they want all surveillance on everything thrown out. That any drug dealer got arrested, they want them released. Anything connected to anything that led to another arrest, everything thrown out on anyone and every drug dealer and anybody that was arrested off this, to sue the government under fraud. They had no right around me because he was just defrauding me. He wasn't there to protect me unless he defends her and he pays her and she is a paid informant. And he defends the case. Then they want it thrown out on fraud. So that's where on March 5th, 26 in Bell Store in Magnolia. Lady said that it sick them sending out those emails of that agent bullying her and then laughing, and he sounded pure evil and telling people not to help her, and da 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 da, and that they said he was in the courthouse September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse, bad mouthing me, and nobody thought he was funny, and they're bad mouthing me and bad mouthing the case. And then sending out those emails proving he was bullying her on the phone, saying, say you're lying or else, and then laughing at her like pure evil. Then sending out the emails of no one's to help her, no one's to believe her. And that these people already confessed and witnessed against that agent that he took a payoff. They are going after Agent John hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. That they are setting him up to go to jail for this, and that they want all surveillance thrown out. Every drug dealer, anybody arrested on anything connected to any of the surveillance they got on this case thrown out, and then that they are going to sue the government for endless and millions of dollars of money of false arrest. See, that's what was so funny. They wanted a fraud case that they could get thrown out, and then they could sue the government. What they did to me was Twilight Zone. Of stuff you can't do. It's so ridiculous. It's absurd. It's craziness. But what they did to him was perfect. Trick him into open a fraud case instead of arrest him. Agent John, all you have to do is pay me and defend me. Then arrest them. But Jen said that she was afraid that you drank the grape juice, that the line between right and wrong became blurred, and you became a criminal. And they do need to arrest you. People died. I have met family members that their families were taken from the human traffickers and were either taken or killed. I was tortured by these people. I was raped, my skull crushed in, and think all this for Katie's enjoyment. Somebody that only said hi to her in maybe 2011 and was lying to people. I found out that I was supposed to have threatened her and I hadn't even talked to her in 15 years. See, that's where nobody thinks any of this funny. That lying bitch just lied. Again. And it's just like Melissa and her mean games of pretend, and they were all laughing around. And they got caught like January 12th, 22. Officer John, one of those kids get tape stated, they made everything up. October 5th, 21. Honey to Mink, we would hate for Melissa to get any money out of this. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They didn't want anybody to help her. My client that was with me is like, who's that crazy Melissa? They talk about lying everywhere we go. It's like the ex-daughter-in-law, friends with ex's girlfriend, have the kids make up some mean games to pretend on Thanksgiving of 18 in front of the police. He said, it's been years and they're still talking about that girl lying everywhere. On Thanksgiving of 18, the kids got taped that they were making everything up. They were games to pretend, and that they had wanted the house for Papa and Auntie Shell, Katie's family member. The one that's messed up in drugs, her and her dad, that owed, the poor family that owed drug dealers. She's not a retired judge's daughter. She's not Agent Will's daughter. She's Mary's niece. They just lie. That whole family does nothing but lie. And see, at the beginning of the case, two guys said they worked for a drug lord. And Melissa was going to be willing to help them get away with this. She was willing to have the kids lie. You're kidding. No, I told them to say, pew, 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 and laughed. Well, got the feds' attention. They followed her around. They caught her telling the kids a lie. And then on Thanksgiving of 18, taped that they made everything up. They were games of pretend. Stark County Sheriffs, Massillon Police, everybody knows that they're documented mean games of pretend. That's how they put it. Where Officer Mark said, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. I hate to arrest her because a little. Why don't we just write it up that her and the kids were showing off for Dave and his girlfriend? And Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. I have that white guy last summer showed up and said her ex-daughter-in-law ran around saying something happened to her kids. I looked it up. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no police report. There's no police investigation. It's just her saying it. They're documenting jokes. You look them up. FBI case. Thanksgiving of 18. They taped her kids saying they made everything up. October 23rd, 2019, Flora ratted them out. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games up for them. I didn't know until she stated it. See, these people think they can lie and steal from people. You can't. See, what they did to me was Twilight craziness. But they set up that agent perfectly. And this, like people were talking today, nobody thinks it's funny when they did all this to set up that the case would get thrown out for fraud so they could sue the government. That's all they wanted, was him to defraud me so they could sue the government for false arrest. Agent John, all you have to do is pay me and defend me. It's up to you. Because does it affect me if you go to jail? No. Does it affect me if your case against a cartel gets thrown out and everybody gets released and they sue the government for millions? No. Because I stay in the witness protection program because these people try to kill me. Like Walter said, you can't get out. There's a judge's order. So, I mean, I'd like my money anyways. You know, on top of it, I earned it. My God, look at all the people help you get. I'd like to help John in his little church. I would like to help Joshy. Crystal had a nice car to go to college. And I'd like to help Danny and Jen because they took on such a big debt helping Carl. And I'd like to get to a safer place. I need a medical card, a letter. Thank you would be nice. No names and socials for me and Carl. That's all I want. But, you know, if you choose to do the wrong thing and the consequences of your actions, there is people here that are going to be correcting it. They've already got these people witness that they paid you off. They already got them witnessing and then sending out the emails proving you were bullying me and that some of it's taped over. That's alternate police evidence. But you laughing at me. See, I dated a cop for a little while. He said, you know, when you take someone's statement, you can't call them a liar. Can't even imply you think they're lying. You're to take their statement if they believe you or not and follow through, or it's badgering. I said, that's the word I'm looking for. He said, it's obstruction, justice, and tampering with a witness. You don't have a right to have an opinion. You have to take their statement and follow through. The day you call them a liar, if they report you, you lose their badge. If they prove it, you go to jail 20 years. And they're sending out proof. People were talking, these crazy people really are trying to get Agent John arrested. Oh, they're going hot and heavy after him. All he has to do is say he was acting that way to get the drug dealers. Of course, they're going to pay Karen. And then call, you need to get that email they're sending out to all the police departments. And Officer Mark and John, that waitress with black hair and glasses that's the teacher down there, somebody's impersonating the Stark County Sheriff's going down there trying to help get the Agent John's case thrown out. Saying they're bad-mouthing me. When I know the Stark County Sheriff's helped work the FBI case. And it's probably just drug dealers. I've seen people from the original case, the riffraff, that would laugh at me that they drugged me and told me to say stuff down there a couple years ago. It's probably just that. But you need to get it straight. You need to start fixing this. And Tuscarawas Sheriff's, you need to talk with them. You need to get those emails. Now, the Tuscarawas Sheriff of the CCW, sweetheart. Oh my God, is he a sweetheart? He told me a couple years ago, it was the chief of police of Portage County sending it out. If he's not doing it, someone's framing him too. But they said it was him sending it out. I'm going to upload this.